Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Deciding to Soar, living life your own way. My name is Jamison, and I am a life strategist, a corporate leader, an author, a minister, and a mom. And I am so grateful that you are here with me today. And if this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. We are an unedited, unscripted podcast where I share what I'm learning in my own life, as well as what I'm learning from working with so many amazing healers, visionaries, leaders, entrepreneurs, and brave souls, people just like you. And today I feel led to share with you about strengths. Now, it's really interesting. I just finished a workshop and we had some great conversations about the power and the importance of owning your strengths. And so when I finished the workshop, I said, you know what? I am going to share that message with all of you because I am noticing that many people are leaving the workforce, sometimes involuntarily. People are deciding to start something fresh and to start something new. And when people are starting something new, we have to understand and remember how wonderful we are. We have to remember how gifted, how talented we are. And we have to name where we are proficient. We have to name our qualities. We have to name those traits that make us distinct. And so today I want to share with you what I just shared at a workshop about the power of naming and claiming and owning and growing our strengths, because we all have strengths. Now, for some of us, our strengths show up in things that we do. Maybe you can make something, solve something, fix something. You can do something in the courtroom, the operating room, the bedroom, the classroom, the prayer room. You can do something exceptional, different. But for some people, it's just something that they are. They have this aura, this command, this gravitas that has a way of elevating everyone around them. And some people have both, because many people are multi-gifted, multi-talented people. So today I want to talk about, for people who have one strength, five strengths, one gift, five gifts, superpowers, spiritual gifts, however you want to put language around it. Let's talk about a framework that I call owning yourself framework. So people can really think and remember and highlight what makes them special, because all of us are special. So today I talked about 6 ways and 6 reasons for us to own our strengths. The first way I talked about that I want to share with you is it's important to own, to name, and to claim our strengths from a place of accuracy. Accuracy helps us name what we are good at, what we are exceptional at, what we do with a sense of elegance and excellence and ease. And we all have something that we can do, or something that we are, that we do with excellence and ease. When we name that and we are accurate about it, it helps us be really clear about what we are chosen to do, what we feel called to do, what we feel really anointed to do. So it's good for all of us to name our strengths from a place of accuracy. It's okay to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, Sharon, you're really good at this. Or Paula, you're really good at this. Or Sarah, you're really good at this. It's okay to do that. And it's not about being arrogant. It's about being accurate, because that's your essence. It's not about ego. It's your essence. And we have to be able to own that, those things that we are good at, because you can't develop something if you won't name it, right? You can't develop something if you won't if you don't know it. So we need to know it. We need to name it. We need to own it so that we can develop it, we can honor it, we can respect it, and we can also appreciate it in such a way that we move to the second reason why it's important to name your strength, and that is alignment. So the first reason why is accurate. So we are accurate about the gifts that we carry, accurate about the strengths, accurate as much as we can about our supernatural powers, our superpowers, our spiritual gifts. Now, sometimes the accuracy is immediate. Sometimes the accuracy will evolve as we start to know ourselves and trust ourselves, get in touch with ourselves. So accuracy is important. Accuracy helps with the second one, alignment. Now, we hear people talk about alignment all the time. But alignment is about staying in your lane, or your lanes for people who are multi-gifted. It's about being able to focus your time, your talent, and your treasure on what you do well. Because when we focus on what we do well, not only are we more effective and efficient, we have greater ease. We work from a place of flow, because that's how we naturally wired, versus always feeling that we're forcing something. Now, we can still be effective with force, right? You can still be effective, but you will be exhausted. So it's always important to think about, what do I naturally do well? Where do I naturally feel more empowered or more emboldened? Where do I feel more at ease? And really be able to name that so you can get in alignment. Now, we know that alignment is important. I want you to think about a car. When a car is in alignment, or when a car is not in alignment, it doesn't function as well. For example, it's harder to steer, it burns more gas, it is a bumpier ride. Now, if we know that being in alignment is that important for a car, just think about how it affects your mind, body, and spirit when you are alignment, right? So I want you to think about, when you're not in alignment, what impact that has on your body, your mind, your spirit, when you are working in ways that contradict your natural wiring, when you are working in ways that contradict your spirit, your soul, when you are working in opposition to how you are divinely designed. So we want to be in alignment so we don't squander our energy or squander our efforts in ways where we won't be as efficient, as effective, or as extraordinary. So we have accuracy is really important. So we know what the gifts that we carry, our traits, are what makes us exceptional. Alignment, so we can focus our time and move with intention. The third reason is assurance. And assurance is really important. It is that inner declaration. It is that inner knowing that grounds you. It is that inner knowing that gives you glimpses of your greatness, that helps you have this sense of clarity, that sense of inner calm, that you are moving in a direction of your destiny, that you are moving in connection with your calling. And that inner assurance safeguards you from not negotiating your worth. It safeguards you for not mismanaging or undermining who you are and what you bring to the table. It ensures that you don't allow yourself to be mishandled, because you know that you know that you know. I feel like assurance, that self-assurance is almost like confidence amplified, because it is the sense that's in the bottom of your belly that you are doing what you are made to do. that you are divinely created to do whatever it is, or to whatever it is to be. And it helps you be unshakable. And I think it's really important when we find that place, when we find that thing where we have this sense of assurance, we will understand it, but it will also give us this emotional agility, because we won't waver. We won't feel like someone can push us off our center, or undermine us, or mismanaging us, because we have this inner declaration, this inner knowing that we are doing what we have been called to do. So we have accuracy, we have alignment, we have assurance. The fourth reason why it's so critical to appreciate and respect our strengths is because it gives us authority. Now, authority is not something that someone has to give you. Authority is something that you accept, and that you are so good at something, so proficient, so effective, that when you do it, you have instant authority because you're heads and tails above everyone else. Authority is something, again, that ensures that you're not waiting to be chosen, right? Because the inner authority says that my strengths are not an accident. They are assignments of my authority. There are assignments of where I was called to serve. And since I have this authority to do what I have been called to do, I don't have to wait till someone legitimizes me. I don't have to wait till someone authorizes me. I don't have to wait till someone endorses me. Now that's important, because in the workshop that I just finished, we had someone share, she was a preacher, that her pastor did not give her opportunities to preach because he felt that she had not been authorized by him. And we really had a good conversation, because I shared with her that a person may not allow you to use their platform, but they don't have any say about your purpose. Another person does not have any authority over your God-given purpose to do something. And so we have to be careful to make sure we understand that some people might not want you on their platform, but it doesn't mean that you don't have your own purpose. That some people might not allow you to have visibility, but it does not mean that you don't have a vision. And so when you have authority, you don't care if someone legitimizes you. You don't care if someone does not designate you to do something, because you have this inner authority that is God-given, God-ordained, God-anointed, and allows you to move in the world without needing permission or approval from another human being. So the fourth reason why to name and claim your strength is to function fully in your authority, meaning that you don't have to wait to be sanctioned by someone to do something that you feel divinely called to do. You don't have to worry about somebody else legitimizing your destiny when you feel like you are being divinely directed. Yeah. The next reason why, after we understand our authority, is that understanding your strength to be an accurate, being an alignment, having assurance, walking in our authority, is the next one is to make sure that you can always operate with agency. Agency is like you are calling the shots about you. You are giving yourself permission to move, to do, to say yes, to say no, to stop, to start. That you are understanding that you have full discretion. And I feel that sometimes when we don't own our strengths, we are not only waiting for someone to legitimize us, but we're waiting for someone else to tell us to go, to stop, and to give us instructions. Now, it's okay for someone to give you some instructions, but they should not be calling the shots. Another person should never be calling the shots about your strengths, about where you can place them. For example, if they don't want you to use your platform, use your own. If someone doesn't want to give you opportunity to create your own. I think we have to remember when we walk in our authority and operate in our agency that we have some sense of sovereignty. And that is really important because we have been taught and conditioned that we have to totally rely on systems and structures to move us forward, that we have to rely on this hierarchy to give us authority and power. So we need to appreciate that we have agency, that we can move, we can stop, we can start, we can have some discretion as to when to use our strengths and when not to use our strengths, when to share our strengths, when to operate in our strengths, right? And that's really important for us to do. And the last reason that I shared is that when we own our strengths, we name it and claim it, respect it, appreciate it, is that it helps us stay anchored. Now, anchoring is really important. When we think about our strengths, we know that our strengths help us to advance. It helps us to actualize. It helps us to awaken other parts of ourselves. It helps us to sometimes awaken and mobilize people if that's what we've been called to do. We know that walking in our strengths help us to be agile and to operate in different settings, in different industries, and with different types of groups. So we know that our owning our strengths help us anchor all of that. So it helps us advance. It helps us to have agility. It helps us to self-actualize. But we also need to remember when we're anchored in our strengths, it helps us withstand attacks. Because when people accept their personal assignments, whatever those personal assignments are, those are the same people who will endure a lot of personal attacks. And you receive personal attacks. Why? Because leaders, visionaries, people like you, who are change makers, trendsetters, visionaries, leaders, we are the people who really challenge the status quo. We are the people who shake off conditioning and challenge the way we have been indoctrinated. We are the people who don't succumb to societal shoulds and societal mandates and dictates. We are the people who reject stereotypes and societal expectations, right? Those are people like you and I. And the reason why we do all of that, because that's how we operate in our strengths, because many times our strengths give us an opportunity or help us to do things that have been never done before. And that means you're going to ruffle some feathers. That means that you're going to make some people uncomfortable. And that's why it's so important to be anchored in your strengths. So when you are attacked, and you will be attacked, when you deal with haters and imitators and people who might want to sabotage you, idea thieves, you will bend, but you won't break. Because you know that your strengths are God ordained, God anointed, God appointed, God designed. And it gives you the flexibility not only to not break, but to restart, to gives you the power to pivot, because those strengths are always there, right? And when you know your strengths, you can pivot, you can pause, you can proceed easier because you're anchored in understanding the gifts that you carry. Anchored in understanding that you have talents, you have traits, you have abilities, you have supernatural powers that are God-given and God-ordained, that ensures that you won't get stuck if you get, I guess, sabotage or deal with adversity, something that we all will have to deal with throughout sometimes in our life, right? Just know that if people are not attacking you, that means you're not doing anything special. So attacks come with the success journey. So again, own your strengths, name your strengths, respect your strengths, understand that your strengths are not accidents, they are assignments. They help you understand who you are and what you were created to do. They are anointed. They are appointed. There's something that you do or just something that you are, right? And you can have multi-strengths. You can be multi-talented, multi-focused, multi-dimensional type of people. 6 reasons why. Again, 1, accuracy. So you can focus and stay faithful, because being focused, staying faithful helps you to be fruitful. So we want to stay accurate. 2, helps you stay in alignment, so you're not squandering your time, squandering your attention. So you can dictate and devote your time, talent, and your treasure to the areas where you have the greatest yield, where you can be the most fruitful, most productive, most extraordinary, most life-changing, most trend-setting. Assurance helps you stay in your inner knowing so that you can take rejection, that you can take scrutiny, so that you can take attacks. 4th, it helps you stay in your authority so you won't waver, because you know that you know that you know that you're good at something. You know the gifts that you carry. 5, it helps you operate an agency. So you always give yourself permission to do what you feel called to do. So you're not waiting to be legitimized or validated or endorsed to do something that you know that God has gifted you and made you to do. And then anchoring so that you can advance, so that you are agile, so that you can self-actualize, but also so you're grounded to withstand attacks. So those are a couple of reasons that I shared that is so important to own your strengths. And if this podcast really speaks to you, please share it with someone who might be a little hesitant to own their greatness, to celebrate their giftedness, to own their destiny. Please share it with them. And also, if this podcast resonates with you, please leave me a review. And if you're haven't subscribed to the podcast or to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Really cannot build the YouTube channel without you. So I really would need your help. And I want to leave you with this benediction. This is a benediction that I gave the group today that I want to offer to you. And I hope it speaks to you at your point of greatest need around your gifts. And it reads as follows. May you stop negotiating what God has already named. May you stand in what you carry without apology. May you trust your strength, not as arrogant, but as alignment. May you move with assurance when the world feels uncertain. May you sit in your authority without waiting to be chosen. And may you build a life that reflects not just what you do, but who you are called to be. Because you don't need permission. You need clarity. And clarity begins the moment you say, I know what I carry. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this message blesses you. And as I say at the end of every podcast, I still believe that the best is yet to come for me and for you. So own your gifts, and thank you for joining, and blessings to you always.